Good morning. Hello. How are you this morning, everybody? Morning, Mina. Morning, Anya. Hello, hello. Good morning to those who drink coffee. Good morning to those who don't. Whatever floats your boat. I can't live without it, so I'm gonna make it. It's another gloomy day. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I do know what's going on. It's June gloom. That's right. I always forget. Hey, hi everybody. Come on. Did you guys see that? I already gave the coffee. Oh, yes. Good. Morning, Sloth. Hey, Renee. Renee, are you still family free? I don't know if there's another way to put it besides that. You know what I mean, right? Like, oh, this one's empty. You're free until Sunday. Oh, I wanted to talk to book club about something. Hold on. So, I'll wait until a couple more people get on here. Hey, Naisa. So, what I was thinking, so tomorrow night, Secret Fiance is going out with a bunch of his friends as kind of like a fake, like, almost bachelor party thing. And I was like, maybe we'll have, like, a nighttime book club while he's gone or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll give myself an evening off or something, maybe, instead of making slime. I don't know. I'll just read. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. It'll be kind of fun, right? He is going to be secret husband soon, it's true. Yeah, if we do, I'll need to go get the second book, like, this weekend, because we definitely will finish the book sooner. You know what I mean? My favorite singer is going to be on TV today. Oh, who is it? Now you said, who's your favorite singer? And what's going on? Who are they? Who's your fave? Who is this person? My bun is no longer on top of my head, which is kind of annoying to me, but it is what it is, right? At least my hair's clean. TikTok's not like, no, not yet, Avery. Not yet. I have to do like a credit card authorization thing, you know? So, is what it is. We're here for now. Part of me wants to make Anya a mod right now just on principle. Diana Ross. You want to hear something about Diana Ross? Fun. Yeah, you too, Jen. Yes, agreed. Jen and Anya are getting upgraded. It's $1 million and you must prove that you're paid. So wait, so I saw the musical Motown on Broadway with my aunts and uncles, and that was fun. What made it even more cool was that my aunt told me, what else do we need for bingo? Hey, lots of coffee. My aunt Louisa, who I think some of you have seen in a video when I was in New York with her, she was there with me, and there's a scene in the musical Motown of Diana Ross's first solo performance, and my aunt leaned over to me and she was like, oh, I was there for this. And I was like, what? And because it happened in LA, and my mom and my aunts grew up here in LA, my aunt actually went to Diana Ross's first solo performance live and was in the audience. So then seeing it again in the musical, she was like, oh, this is surreal and weird, because I was there. I was like, that is so cool. Like, very, very big musical moment. Yeah.
Question.
Yes, answer.
These smoothie things?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the milk?
Oh, sure.
And milk?
You want to throw one of those?
Oh, just this one. This is empty. I mean, the recycling. But thank you. Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. I actually had a friend who was in Motown, the musical. Her name is Morgan. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, yeah. Book time.
Morgan?
No, but that's funny. That's a people who are learning how to speak German joke. How do you like that, Grace? Grace also speaks German.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Kaffee und Milch, bitte. Is it not touring anymore, Naisa? I had a phone interview today, virtual interview next week. Renee, you don't need any more jobs. You don't need any more jobs. Stop it.
Mein Frau ist klug.
Thank you. And Grace said, sehr gut.
Oh.
Very good.
Okay.
Oh, that's different, Renee. Eine Katz ist sehr schön. The cat is very beautiful.
Oh. Or nice. Oh,
No, Sean is beautiful.
is it?
Yeah, Net is nice.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Also, Sasha's way better at German than me.
Well, you know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
You know.
You're seeing a play at the end of the month to know what I think about it. The subject isn't my usual go-to. What is the play, Miss Anya? Tell me. Do I know it? Is it a new one? Is it something I know? Oh, hold on. I'm pulling this away from the thing. Enjoy my coffee. Johnny and June about Johnny Cash. Oh, it's probably pretty good. You know, it's not, it's something I would seek out, but it's probably good. La Jolla Playhouse does great stuff, though. You have to know that.
You don't like Johnny Cash, though.
Not generally speaking, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't see you know me. I'll read a biography about almost anyone, whether I was a fan before or not. Like, okay, I did the Henry Winkler biography, and then my friend who reads a lot of biographies, she reads I have a friend who were both in reading challenges, right? And she reads a ton of biographies, and she was behind on her reading challenge. And so I said, Lori, she's a friend that I've had for almost 20 years at this point. We went to school together. And I said, Lori, read Henry Winkler's biography because you love biographies. And she said, but I'm not a fan of Henry Winkler. And I was like, well, you will be when you're done reading the book. It's a good book. It's a good book. I loved Henry Winkler's biography so much that when I was at the LA Times Book Festival and I saw that he was there, I tried to get into his signing because I was just finishing the book when that happened. I'm not even a fan, but I was like, man, his book's so good. It really was. He did a great job. And what I heard from people who went to his panel was it was the best panel for people who have been going for 10 years to this festival. I was like, man, I wish I would have gotten in because he's real good. I'm so sad that I missed it because his book is phenomenal. I mean,
he's pretty funny. I mean,
he's
based on Barry.
Yeah, but
and all the weird early
but
his 90s movies he made.
But even just as a person, the way that he wrote his autobiography or his memoir, I mean, it was really well done. Just very, very well done.
Does he talk about acting without acting?
No. Yeah, it's okay, Renee. I found out that I still have an old iPad and I treat it like a Kindle now. eBook City, here I come. Yes, probably he's been doing panels for years at different cons. Yeah, but he's real good, So I'm just saying, you don't have to necessarily be a fan of someone to like an autobiographical thing of them. Because, I saw his stuff, but I wasn't a fan before. But reading the book, I was like, well, now I am. And I kind of want to read his books. He writes books, not just his autobiography, but he writes book books also.
Really? He writes fiction?
Well, they're like the same type. It's like this. It's like middle grade fiction, but
Really?
like it could be cool. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the?
It's about this kid who's in like 7th grade who doesn't know why he's not understanding stuff, and it's like a secret way to explain ADHD to kids. Because Henry had wild ADHD, so he was barely passing school all the time, and he had a really, really difficult time in school, and he was always getting like picked on by teachers and stuff, and so he didn't go to school after high school because he was like, well, I'm not putting myself through that again. That was awful, you know? And it doesn't have to be like that. Like if you have a good teacher.
Write a book for the teachers that are jerks.
Seriously, he should write a book for the teachers who are jerks. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what, Amanda? If you read the book, you're like, wait, I get it now. Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting.
What do you get?
Like why he did all of the things that he did during his career, where he went on certain, like, because he, you know, there were certain films that he was in and then they didn't get made, and like all these things over the years. Now he disappeared for a little while and then came back into it. He explains all this stuff, and you're like, you know what?
Well, during the 90s, his career kind of about it. Adam Sandler put him in some movies.
He's really close to Adam Sandler. They're apparently like really good friends. He was in Adam Sandler's wedding, I guess.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah, you should, Amanda. It was a great read. And also, if you want to listen to the audiobook, he reads the audiobook himself, and it's phenomenal. He's great. It was like the first thing I checked out when I got Libby, the first audiobook I got on there, and I was like, oh, he's phenomenal. What was the other thing that I was going to tell you all? So I just got a text message. I can't respond to it right now because I'm on live, but I got a text message from Ryan just now that said, when do you need your hair done for the wedding? Maybe I'll make a special trip and come out for a vacation and do your hair.
Just for that?
Apparently.
Oh my gosh.
I know, because I asked for a recommendation for someone else to do my hair, and he was like, nope, I will come.
Are you serious?
That's what he said. He said maybe he'll plan his vacation around it. I was like, okay.
Well, he does. Just taking the dinner or something.
Of course. But that's very sweet, because I was like, do you know anyone in LA that can fix my hair? And he was like, maybe I'll just do it. I was like, all right.
Nobody could touch it.
I know. There's one girl that keeps coming to book club asking when I'm going to get my hair redone that's going to be so happy.
Why?
I don't know what her damage is, but she really does not feel okay with my hair being faded.
I think your hair looks amazing faded. It's my favorite time of your dye is when it fades like this.
Yeah, this is in a good state right now. I like this. This is nice. I like this part right here because it's good colors. Yeah.
This looks good for
like what if you wanted fade and pastel? That's literally a style. Yeah, it is literally a style. Yeah, it is. I feel okay with your hair. I need to redo mine. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. He feels like that it's his hair to fix, no going to others. Yeah, that's how Ryan feels. Yeah, we'll see. I have to talk to him after this, and we'll figure out if it even makes sense time-wise. But it's very sweet of him to offer. I think it looks nice pastel too. Thank you, Avery. That's very sweet. Thank you.
I've been saying that for how long?
Well, I know, but you're biased.
What do you mean?
You like all of the looks of my face. Except when I make some weird faces. Sometimes I make weird faces and you don't love those.
Well, no, it's no reason to comport yourself, so.
Oh, God, it's funny. Yeah, a good fade phase. As long as it's a good brand that fades pretty and doesn't fade to yucky colors. Oh, it's your first time in book club? Well, welcome. Welcome on in, Jasmine. Your roots are so great. I wish my roots were gray. I think the pastel would look nicer with gray roots than it does with brown roots.
I disagree.
Oh. Yeah. Choom! Chop!
Chopped at the knees.
Chopped you at the knees. So we're about to smoothie dance, which is why I haven't started reading, but we are taking Zoe to the Bluey house this weekend for anyone who out there who has young children.
What day?
On Saturday, remember? My sister is bringing Zoe up here, and it's part of her birthday present that we are taking her to the Bluey house. I know, Amanda has a young child, so she just went, what? I know, it's going to be so much fun. There's like a Bluey pop-up here in LA, and we got tickets so that Zoe could go because her birthday's coming up. All right, smoothie dance time. Everyone get ready. Get your dancing shoes on. they're going, if it's a tour or what. I have no idea. I'll let you know when I get there if there's like a little paper that shows all the places it's going to go. Sometimes they do that when it's a tour. I will let you know, Amanda, because if it's coming towards you, you should obviously go. Same with you, Naisa. So yeah, anyway, I'll let you know how it is, if it's worth it, etc. and so on. But Zoe loves Bluey, so we're taking her there. It's going to be an auntie and uncle outing. All right, we are on chapter 18, The Girl of Flowers and the Tree of Truth. Weird. Bristol was awoken by a strong flowery scent. Her eyes fluttered open to see what was causing the smell, but all she saw was the color yellow everywhere she looked. She waited for her eyes to adjust, expecting the color to fade or turn into something she recognized, but the yellow, and only the yellow, remained around her. Bristol was lying on something very soft, but she didn't know where she was or how she got there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but which one, Avery? I think that's a common thing, Jen. I think that's pretty common. She remembered the sensation of falling. She remembered how hard it was to breathe in the air as it rushed past her face. She remembered reaching for something descending beside her. She remembered brushing her wand with her fingertips. She remembered how desperately she needed it. Bristol gasped and sat up straight, as her full memory returned. She recalled running from the trolls and goblins with her classmates. She recalled Xanthos dropping his Mooter medal as they crossed the rope bridge. And worst of all, she recalled plunging towards the canyon's rocky floor. However, she hadn't landed on the hard ground as she had feared she would. Bristol had fallen, had been broken by an enormous yellow rose. As Bristol got to her feet and she peeked over the massive petals, she discovered that she was in the middle of an enchanted garden. Everywhere she turned, Bristol saw flowers, mushrooms, shrubbery, and other plants that were the size of houses. Her classmates were scattered around the garden, and thankfully their falls had been broken by giant flowers too. Just like Bristol, the impact had knocked them all unconscious. Emeralda was nestled inside a towering purple tulip, and Lucy was draped over the side of a gigantic pink lily. Xanthos was lying in a huge red carnation that was partly singed now thanks to the boys' flames. Tangerina and Skylene were still tangled in the troll's net, but the girls had landed safely on a sunflower. That's amazing, Naisa. Is everyone alive? Bristol called to them. One by one, her classmates started to groan, and slowly they came to. They rubbed their heads and stretched their limbs, and they looked around the garden in amazement. Well, I tell you what, this isn't the worst place I've ever woken up to, Lucy said. Where are we? Emeralda asked. It's some kind of big garden, Bristol said. But how did we get here? Xanthos asked. Everyone looked up and saw that the canyon was still above them, but strangely the garden was underneath the canyon's rocky floor, and it covered them like a transparent roof. The bottom of the canyon must have been a magical barrier, Tangerine speculated. It's like the hedge around our academy. We must have fallen into another magical residence. The classmates carefully climbed down from their giant flowers and took in their bizarre surroundings. Xanthos found his Mooter medal dangling off of a daisy and immediately put it back around his neck. Bristol searched the garden for her wand and found it at the base of a milkweed plant. She waved the wand at Tangerina and Skylene, and the net around them dissolved into thin air, and the girls joined the others on the ground. You could have done that before you dragged us through the woods, Skylene said. Sorry, Bristol said. I'm still getting used to these life and death situations. The students and apprentices searched for a way out of the garden, but they couldn't find an exit anywhere. They followed a dirt path snaking through enchanted plants, but the property seemed endless. As they walked, Tangerina's bumblebees buzzed with excitement and all the giant flowers around them. They merrily made trips to and from enlarged blossoms, returning to Tangerina's beehive with more nectar than they knew what to do with. Eventually, the classmates heard someone humming in the nearby garden. They rounded the corner and found a 6-year-old girl wearing normal-sized poppies. The girl had ringlets of bright red hair, and she wore a sundress made from large rose petals. She hummed a cheerful tune to the poppies as she watered them. After she was finished She set her pail aside and twirled her fingers around in the air above the flowers. The poppy started to grow and stretch to the height of a tree. Do we think that this is Mary Mary quite contrary? I don't know. Nice trick, Lucy called to her. Do you do potties? The little girl wasn't expecting the classmates and screamed. She dashed behind a giant poppy and hid from the visitors. Bristol felt terrible for frightening the little girl and approached her with an apologetic smile. I'm so sorry. We did not mean to scare you, she said. You have nothing to be afraid of. We're fairies, just like you. We're a little lost, and we're hoping someone could show us the way out of, well, wherever it is we are. I'm not allowed to talk to strangers, the little girl said. Well, then let's fix that, she said. My name is Bristol Evergreen, and these are my friends. Lucy Goose, Emeralda Stone, Xanthos Hayfield, Tangerina Turkin, Skyline Lavenders, well, what's your name? Bristol's friendly charm won the little girl over, and she stepped out from behind the poppies. Aww, my name is Rosette, she said. Rosette Meadows. It's nice to meet you, Rosette, Bristol said. Now that we're better acquainted, could you please tell us where we are? We forgot there's another fairy in the fairy council that we hadn't met yet. It's Rosette. Okay, that's who it is. You're in Greenhouse Canyon, she said. It's the world's largest botanical garden and nursery for magically enhanced plants. Did you grow all the plants yourself? Bristol asked. Well, it's my family's specialty, Rosette said. The Meadows have the greenest thumbs in the magical community. Our thumbs, well, aren't actually green, of course. That's just a figure of speech, although my uncle's thumb did turn green once, but that was just from a bad infection. Boy, I sure miss him. Wait, if you didn't know about the Greenhouse Canyon before, how did you end up here? Well, me and my friends were chased off the cliff by trolls and goblins, Bristol said. We fell into the canyon, but luckily your flowers saved our lives. You were chased by trolls and goblins? Rosette asked with large eyes. That's amazing. I've never seen a troll or a goblin in real life before. This one time I thought I saw one, but it was just an anteater. Wait, did you say our flowers saved your life? Wow, that's incredible. My family should use that for marketing. I can picture all the advertisements now. Meadows flowers. Not only are they beautiful, they're life-saving. It's tough getting new customers when your location is a secret. Oh, yeah, I imagine that's a tough way to sell. Oh, yeah, our usual customers are old and they smell like cheese. Why do you think that is? You guys are the youngest people I've ever seen in the canyon. I rarely have anyone my own age to talk to. Gosh, this is nice. It's nice for you too, right? I spend a lot of time with the plants. They say to talk to plants to help them grow. I'm not sure that that's the healthiest thing for me though. Plants are good listeners, I guess, but it's not the same as talking to people. Sometimes you just need to hear something beside your own voice, you know what I mean? Like, hey, do you guys want to tour the gardens while you're here? Obviously, Rosette was very excited to have company. She talked so fast that the others were having a hard time understanding her. Well, we'd love to stay, but we are in a bit of a hurry, Bristol said. Would you mind showing us how we can get back to the in-between? Rosette looked around the garden curiously and scratched her head. Actually, I'm not sure how to get out of here, she said. Believe it or not, I've never really been outside of the canyon before. My family is very protective. Did you know the world is full of people who want to harm us? It was news to me. My family says I'm a lot for other people to handle too. They say I am best in small doses, whatever that means. It doesn't hurt my feelings though. Everyone expresses love in a different language. Did you guys know what your love languages are? Mine is quality time. It used to be physical touch, but that wasn't working very well, so I had to change it. People are so picky about personal space. Hey, you know what? Is there someone else that we could talk to? Lucy interrupted. Well, you'll have to speak to the sorceress, Rosette said. She'll know the way out. Did you say sorceress? Emeralda asked. Yeah, she's my aunt, Rosetta said. Come with me, I'll show you where she is. The classmates followed the little girl through the garden, and along the way, Rosette gave them the tour that they didn't want. She spoke in great detail about every flower and plant as they passed. Bristol speculated that she was purposely taking the long way through the garden so that she had more time to talk to them. Soon, they passed a bundle of bushes with colorful berries that caught Xanthos' eye. Hey, Grace, you're gonna be Rosette for Halloween. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. Hey, I recognize those, he said. Madame Weatherberry had them in her golden carriage. Oh, yeah, those are our mealberries, Rosette said. They're one of our best sellers. They grow different types of food, depending on what time of day it is. And what's that over there? Skylene asked. Oh, that's our orchard of objects, she said. Come on, you'll definitely want to see it. Rosette skipped towards the orchard and gestured for the others to follow her. Lucy shot her classmates a scathing look as they went. I mean, come on, Grace, she's obsessed with plants and she grows wild, like crazy plants. This was made for you. It was made for you. I love that Anya's new thing is anytime that anyone asks to be a mod, she just says, me too. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. Thank you, Anya, for being the comic relief this morning. Well, you and Rosette. Stop. Lucy shot her classmates a scathing glance as they went. Stop asking her questions, she whispered. She's slow enough as it is. The little girls showed them an acre of trees planted in very straight rows. All the trees in the orchard were identical, but instead of fruit or flowers, each tree grew a different household object. There were trees with bars of soap, buckets and mops, pillows and blankets, candles and candlesticks, tables and chairs, spatulas and frying pans, brushes and combs, shoes and socks, and even trees that sprouted stuffed animals. You know, my family can grow just about anything on trees, Rosette boasted. We get requests from witches and fairies all over the world. Money was always what people wanted the most. And that probably isn't a surprise, though. Like, before you ask, the answer is no, we don't grow money on trees. At least, well, not anymore. Last time we sold one, the Western Kingdom had an economic crisis, and it still hasn't recovered. Rosette, oh, sorry. Yeah, Rosette, how much farther until we reach the sorceress? Lucy asked. We're in a bit of a crisis of our own. Well, we're almost there, Rosette said. Our house is just beyond the vineyard of vices and the farm of fragrances. I can't wait to show you those. Eventually, the tour ended at a large 4-story manor. The home was constructed entirely out of vines, and it had a spiral roof of twisted thorn bush. Inside the manor had a thatched roof and walls made from colorful shrubbery. As Rosette escorted her guests through the home, the classmates heard the sounds of several different creatures coming from somewhere inside the house. When they stepped into the great room, Bristol and her friends discovered a zoo of potted plants that looked, moved, and roared like animals. They were barking dogwood blossoms, meowing catnip plants, screeching monkey-faced orchids, and flapping birds of paradise flowers. In the very back of the great room, an old woman was feeding a crate of live chickens to a massive bouquet of Venus flytraps. The plant caught the birds with their snapping jaws and swallowed them whole. It was unnerving of a scene to walk in on, and the classmates froze halfway through the room, but Rosette happily skipped up to the old woman without hesitation. Auntie Floraline, we have visitors, she announced. Floraline Meadows was a very short woman with a wide mouth and abnormally long earlobes. She had 2 braids of silver hair and she wore a smock made from autumn leaves. To the Venus flytrap's dismay, the old woman put a lid over the chicken crate and took a break from feeding to meet her guests. Auntie Floraline, oh sorry, wrong voice. Auntie Floraline, these are my new friends, Bristol Lucy, Emeralda, Xanthos Tangerina, and Skylene, Rosette introduced. New friends, this is my aunt, Sorceress Floraline Meadows. The sorceress studied the classmates with a very untrusting eye. Are you customers? She asked them. No, Bristol said. Are you solicitors? No. Then why are you in my canyon? Hey, Cheese. Oh, we're here by accident, Bristol explained. A tribe of trolls and colony of goblins chased us off a cliff. We don't want to disturb you, but we'd really appreciate it if you could tell us how to get out of here. The sorceress was still suspicious and raised an eyebrow at the classmates. You're awfully young to be in the in-between by yourselves, she said. Where are you coming from? Madame Weatherberry's Academy of Magic, Skylene said. Huh, sounds fancy, the old woman said. I didn't know there were academies for people like us. Oh, it's the first of its kind, Skylene said and beamed with pride. Well, la-dee-da, the sorceress sang. To leave the canyon, you go northwest to the corner of the gardens and then make a turn at the grove of glassware. You'll find a ladder that leads back to the in-between. Thank you, Bristol said. We'll be on our way. It was really nice meeting you. Thanks for dropping by, Rosette said. No pun intended. The classmates headed for the door, but when Bristol turned back to wave goodbye, she noticed that Tangerina hadn't moved. The apprentice was very inquisitively looking back and forth between the sorceress and the bouquet of Venus flytraps. I'm sorry for telling your mods to chill. I just don't like when people are mean to me. No one was mean to you. People just answer your questions, and we expect that you don't spam. You're welcome to stay if you choose not to spam and not to talk back to the mods. If you do that again, unfortunately, you will be blocked from all lives, just so you know. Just out of curiosity, Tangerina said, when you said people like us, what were you referring to? Do sorceresses practice magic or witchcraft? Oh, well, magic for the most part, the old woman said, but I've been known to be a bit of a witch from time to time. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. The sorceress laughed at her own joke, but the students and apprentices didn't understand why that was funny. On the contrary, the remark only confused them. You're not being serious, are you? Tangerina asked. Of course I'm being serious, the old woman said. I didn't get these ears from sticking to magic over the years. I don't use it often, but occasionally a little witchcraft goes a long way. But that is impossible, Tangerina said. You're born either a fairy or a witch. No one gets to choose. The sorceress was stunned by Tangerina's assertion. Young lady, what on earth are you talking about? She said. Having magical abilities isn't a choice, but no one in the magical community is born a fairy or a witch. We all can be whatever we want, whenever we want. Personally, I never identified as one or the other, and that's why I call myself a sorceress. That's not true, Tangerina argued. Fairies are born with goodness in their heart, and they can only practice magic. Witches are born with wickedness in their heart, and they can only practice witchcraft. Who taught you that nonsense? The sorceress asked. Our teacher did, Tangerina said. Well, I hate to break it to you, but your teacher is wrong, the old woman said. Nothing in this universe is black and white. Even the darkest nights have a degree of light, and the brightest days have a pinch of darkness. The world is full of duality, and we get to choose where we stand in all of it. The sorceress was very persuasive as she stated her case, but the classmates couldn't accept it. If she was telling them the truth, then everything they knew about magic, the very foundation of Madame Weatherbury's Academy, was all a lie? No, Skylene objected. I don't believe you. Madame Weatherbury would never lie to us. You're clearly a witch because you're trying to trick us. Look, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but I'm not trying to trick anyone, the sorceress said. Here, I'll prove it to you. The old woman pointed to the ground, and a large flower grew out of the thatched floor. It was the most gorgeous plant that the classmates had ever seen. Its rosy petals were so vibrant, the flower practically glowed. After children had a chance to admire it and fall in love with its beauty, the sorceress clenched her fist, and the flower began to wither. Its color faded, and its petals broke. Its stem weakened. The plant decayed to a mound of dirt. See, the old woman said, magic and witchcraft. The demonstration was quick and simple, but it proved the sorceress was correct. Bristol and her classmates were distressed as they stared at the flower's remains. Their minds were racing as they reevaluated everything that Madame Weatherbury had ever said. But why did she lie about it? Bristol asked. Why would Madame Weatherbury act like fairies and witches are different species if it's just a preference? Well, you could ask the Tree of Truth, Rosette suggested. The Tree of Truth? Lucy said, okay, now you're just yanking our tail feathers. No, it's real, Rosette said. The Tree of Truth is a magic tree that produces honesty. It may answer your questions about your teacher. There's only one left in the greenhouse canyon, and we had to stop selling them because they were driving our customers mad. Is it safe? Bristol asked. As long as you can handle the truth, the sorceress said. Most people can't. Bristol wasn't confident that she could either. Learning that Madame Weatherbury had lied about something so significant was crushing enough, but Bristol would be devastated if she discovered the fairy had lied for dishonorable reasons. However, nothing seemed more daunting than another unanswered question, so Bristol welcomed the opportunity to find the truth. All right, she said, take me to the tree. Rosette and the sorceress escorted their guests to the opposite side of the greenhouse canyon. At the end of the dirt path, atop a tiny hill, was a small white tree. At first, the Tree of Truth looked very normal, but as the classmates walked closer, they noticed that its bark was covered in carvings of human eyes. Bristol cautiously climbed the hill and stood before the tree, but she did not know what to do next. How does it work? She asked. Take one of its branches into your palm, the sorceress instructed, then close your eyes, clear your head, and ask it the questions on your mind. Bristol took a deep breath and held a branch. As soon as her hand closed around it, Bristol was transported far away from Greenhouse Canyon. She wasn't standing on the hill in the middle of the gardens anymore, but on a hill that floated miles above the ground. The clouds flowed beneath her like a rushing river, and the stars twinkled so clearly above her that they seemed within reach. When she looked back at the Tree of Truth, the carvings on its trunk and the branches suddenly opened and became real human eyes. Every single one was staring directly at her, and Bristol assumed that it was all in her mind, but that didn't make it feel any less real.
Do you have a question?
A deep voice that echoed through the sky around her said. That depends, Bristol said. Do you really give honest answers?
I cannot predict the future or read someone's thought, but I know all that is and all that was,
the voice responded. Bristol still had doubts about the Tree of Truth, so she started with a few simple questions to test the tree's authenticity. Well, where was I born? She asked.
Chariot Hills,
the voice answered. Well, where did I attend school?
The Chariot Hills School for Future Wives and Mothers.
And what does my mother do for a living?
Everything that your father doesn't do.
That last question had been a trick question, but Bristol was impressed by how the Tree of Truth had answered it. She decided not to waste any more time testing its accuracy and skipped to the questions that she was there for. Is it true that all members of the magical community are born the same and being a fairy or a witch is just a preference? Bristol asked.
Yes,
the Tree of Truth said. Then why did Madame Weatherberry lie to us? She asked.
The same reason everyone lies, the tree said, to hide the truth.
But why did she need to hide it? Why does Madame Weatherberry want us to believe that there's a difference between fairies and witches if there really isn't?
I cannot see her exact motivation, but I can give insight on why others tell similar lies, the tree offered.
Why? Bristol asked.
When faced with discrimination, it's common for people to divide their community into the oppressor's definitions of right and wrong by categorizing fairies as good and witches as bad. It's possible that Madame Weatherberry was trying to gain acceptance for fairies by fueling hatred for witches.
The theory made sense, but if the tree was right, then that meant Madame Weatherberry was encouraging humankind to hate and harm members of their own community, and Bristol just couldn't imagine Madame Weatherberry wishing hate or harm on anyone. So is that the real reason that she published the Truth About Magic book? Are the incantations supposed to help humankind discover and persecute witches?
The incantation for witchcraft is fake, the tree said. The incantation for magic is the only genuine spell in her book.
The revelation puzzled Bristol even more. She was starting to think of the Tree of Truth should be called the Tree of Frustration because everything it said made the situation more complicated. Her mind was spiraling into different directions, but as Bristol concentrated on the facts, it slowly dawned on her why Madame Weatherberry had done what she did. I think I understand now, Bristol said. If Madame Weatherberry convinced humankind to only discriminate against witches and convinced everyone in the magical community that they were fairies, it would save everyone. She pretended that the community was divided to protect it from humankind while still giving humankind something to hate and fear, right?
Noble people usually lie for noble reasons, the voice said. Sadly, you'll never know until you ask them yourself.
How is Madame Weatherberry doing right now? Is she still alive?
Your teacher is alive, but she's been taken hostage by an evil energy, the Tree of Truth said. Very little of Madame Weatherberry remains, and the life that she clings to is being drained by her captor. It won't be long until she loses the fight.
She's been captured? Bristol asked in a panic. Where is she being kept? Do we have time to save her?
Madame Weatherberry is imprisoned deep within Tinsel Palace in the Northern Kingdom's capital. However, If you continue down the winding paths of the in-between, the chances of rescuing her are unlikely.
Is there a faster way to get there?
10 miles north of Greenhouse Canyon in the back of Black Bear Cave, you'll find the entrance to an abandoned goblin tunnel. Take the tunnel and you'll arrive at Tinsel Heights in half the time.
All right, we will, Bristol said. Thank you. Bristol released the Tree of Truth's branch from her grip and returned to the garden in the Greenhouse Canyon. The trip back felt like she was falling to the earth all over again. She screamed, causing her classmates to jump. Did something bite you? Xanthos asked. Sorry, Bristol said. I wasn't expecting the trip back to be so jarring. What do you mean, trip back? Emerald asked. It doesn't matter. I got the answers we wanted, she said. Madam Weatherberry did lie to us about magic and witchcraft, but she was only doing it to protect the magical community. I'll explain it all later because we have to go. If we don't leave Greenhouse Canyon right now, we might never see Madam Weatherberry again. Yikes. Yeah, seriously, Avery, I'd be like, I don't even know. Barbara, to answer your question, people apologize when they do something wrong. She was extremely unkind to all of my mods on a live yesterday, and so they muted her. And the mute lasts for like 1 live or something. So she came back today to apologize for being so unkind. I know, this man with the cliffhangers. Oh, what is he doing? Hey, Jan. All right, well, that was that. You just got your roll for slimes already? Oh, that was fast. That's pretty good. I have another order going out to you today with your Hamilton cereal and the other stuff in it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go because I gotta pack up a lot of slime, get out a bunch of orders. If you are not on Patreon, a couple of newbie packs and grab bags are going to be listed today. Sent you a message on Patreon. Is my custom in there too? Nope, not yet. Remember, the time for a custom could be over the course of the whole month. I cannot humanly possibly get them all done in 1 week. There's just too many of you and only one of me. So it's never going to be that fast for everybody. You started being rude to her when she said sorry. No, I started explaining to her why she shouldn't do what she would do. And if you find explanations rude, then perhaps this isn't the place for you. We here don't just coddle everybody into thinking that everything they do is right. That's not a way to handle living life. If you go about life that way, you're going to have a really hard time. Sorry to say. That's not what we do here. It's just not. And you can find another live to go to if you don't like it. Yes, Mina can be coddled. You better tell him. If you can't handle it, if you can't handle book club, it's only gonna get worse from here, I tell you what. If our book club is rude to you, life is gonna be really hard out there in the real world. Me too, Sloth. I love how they handle things. We just don't take BS, you know what I mean? It's like, what else? I know, seriously, Jennifer, I can't even with it. Okay, anyway, so what I was telling people earlier, in case you didn't see, is we might have a bonus book club tomorrow while Secret Fiance is at like a bachelor party. Okay, Mickey, have a nice day. You can go. Bye. So yeah. We might have one. Let's see how much slime stuff I get through. And I'm thinking like, do we maybe do like another book, you know, or I don't know. I need to think it through and figure out how we would do this. Maybe like a novella or something. Oh my God, we do need a bingo card here too. We need to make a book club and a slime bingo, it's just separate bingo cards, short story. Yeah, maybe. I just got a book of Court and Rose and Thorns, is super popular. Yes, Boo. I've read the first 3 in that series and then I took a break. Yeah, it would be very cool. Now you said that's what I was thinking. If you have a slime live, I'll be inviting a couple friends. I told them about the Pride Slimes. Tell them to come on Monday. Boo, I would say like medium for me, but I'm also not a huge fan of that genre. So if you are a fan of that genre, I think it's one of the best in that genre, but that is not my favorite genre. So it just depends on what your interest is, you know? Like I read the first 3 of those, and then recently I read Goldspun and The Curse Undone, which are like also versions of that, and I liked those 2 better. So Yeah, I do sometimes, Boo, but I ended up liking Gold Spun better even though they have a lot in common. There's like a lot in common between Gold Spun and the Court of Thorns and Roses, and I just liked Gold Spun better, you know? I don't know why. Oh, that's good to know, Avery. I'm thinking about doing that. You didn't see my comment, but you can hold my order for the custom save stuff. You know what? It actually doesn't make much of a difference in shipping when you have multiple things in one bag already and one separate. Usually it's the same amount of shipping both ways, so it won't matter. Don't even worry about that. Usually one slime by itself can ship for $4 or $5 depending on where you live. And if I add something else to the other bag, it'll up it by 3 or 4 anyway. So it's kind of like, meh, why wait? You know, that way you have them in good condition. Yeah, yeah, everyone likes different things though, right? My sister's obsessed with the entire Sarah J. Maas universe. Like, it's her favorite thing ever. Finished Book Lovers, completely agree with your assessment. It's so good. Ray, please do Love Theoretically next if you liked Book Lovers. Oh yeah, no, I know, Jen. You just don't, like, I always do it whatever is the the cheapest for the customer so that I can like refund some of your shipping if you place an order. But you are at the level where you should have the free shipping code on your order. I hope you used it. I'll message you, but what can I do so that when, but what can you do so when, I need to read your DM to understand this, Anya, but I will. So yeah, I will go ahead and do all of that stuff today. A bunch of orders are going out, some more, Roll for Slimes and Customs and, all that stuff. Oh, I just made it easier for you. Oh yeah, totally. It's good for me to get stuff off the shelves and cleared out actually, because then I can kind of look at what I have and be like, okay, this is what's in actuality. Like, I know that doesn't work for everybody, but brain wise, it's really good for me to only have on the shelves what's not sold yet. So like everything else can go away, which I know is weird, but it totally works for me. And then I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of these things to have the new stuff come in, you know. All right, I'm off to go do that. I love you all. I will see you all on the flip side. Yes, less virtual clutter. Exactly. Like mental clutter is like, meow, goodbye. And also I don't have that many shelves. It's true. Someday I'll have like massive shelves, but who knows? All right, I will probably be on to make slime later. I don't know what time though. Yeah, Smooth D, I'll probably be on to do that later this afternoon. Bye guys.